Hello everyone, welcome to section R.5. We're going to factor these polynomials. So there are different types of factoring. The first type of factoring we're going to look at is factoring a difference of two squares. So here's your rule for factoring a difference of two squares. Here we have a difference, so there's your subtraction sign of two things being squared. So here I have x and y. To factor a difference of two squares, it equals parenthesis x plus y, parenthesis x minus y. Okay, it's got to be multiplication here, because when we factor we get products. They have different symbols in the middle and the order is important. So it's got to be the first thing being squared starts both of the things in parentheses. So let's look at some examples of how to factor a difference of two squares. Okay, here's our first example. Let's say I have x squared minus 9. Okay, first of all, I've got my difference. I've got a minus sign. It's a difference of two squares, not a sum of two squares. It's got to be subtraction. I have something squared, and 9 here, this is a perfect square. So this is optional. You don't have to do this step, but you can rewrite this as x squared minus 3 squared. And then it's in the form that we have, where here is something being squared, and here is something being squared. So this factors to x plus 3, parenthesis, and x minus 3. And how can we check this? Well, FOIL it out. So if I FOIL out x plus 3 and x minus 3, we get x squared minus 3x plus 3x, and then the last term is going to be a minus 9. Collect up those middle terms, and we get x squared minus 9. We're back to where we started. So the check works out. Alright, let's try another one. Okay, let's try this. I have 25x squared minus 36. So equals. Equal signs are important. So you're not changing at all. Factoring keeps the same expression, just expresses it in a different way. So here we have a perfect square, and here we have a perfect square, and we've got minus. So I go ahead. 25x squared is going to be 5x plus 6 and 5x minus 6. And it makes no difference whether you write the plus 1, the plus here, and then the minus, or if you do the opposite order. It's the exact same. 5x minus 6. These are equivalent. And then check it by foiling, but this should work. Alright, one more, just because these are so much fun. Okay, here's our last one. I got x to the 4th minus 81. Okay, watch out for things to the 4th powers. So, okay, if this is a clear difference of two squares, I got a minus, something squared, something squared. So it starts off with x squared plus 9, quantity, x squared minus 9. Here are things. Once you have things to the 4th power, be careful. What do you have right here? Another difference of squares. Does this factor? No. It's a sum of squares. Sum of squares don't factor in the real valued system. So I'm just going to rewrite it below. It doesn't disappear, but it doesn't factor. And then here, this turns into x plus 3 and x minus 3. And of course, you can FOIL this out and check, but it will get you back to the original. And that's factoring a difference of two squares.